Yo, what's up? It's your girl, Channa Weird.
What's going on? It's your boy Darian Boyd. We got a special guest here today. My girl Phylicia K. Noel.
Hello, this is Phylicia K, and I'm just excited to be here with y'all on this hot summer night.
Welcome to the She's So Weird podcast.
Welcome back to part 1.2. What is that? we had issues. We had recorded a podcast. It was daytime. Now we in the heat of the night. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. We are back stronger than ever. Phylicia, thank you for coming again.
Thank you
she gave
so
us
much.
gifts before we came in here. That was lit. That was
And I can't wait to
plug the candle line. Plug the candle line.
So, definitely thank you. I gave you all candles for my new candle line. My affirmation collection, I believe I gave you, Miss Channa, I am growing and glowing. And then I gave you, Darian, I am loyal to my intuition. So, so create candle lines, definitely wanted to get the word out, wanted to put positive vibes out there. So you all can catch me and my candles at www.mynewflamearoma.com or on social media at My New Flame Aroma. Definitely, yes. Come get these flames, flamers.
No, I was gonna say, please say the name of the candles. These are amazing candles. I've been copping from you. Yes. How long? When did you start? When did your site first go live?
October of last year. You know,
So we coming up on the anniversary.
Yeah.
What we doing for the anniversary action?
You know, I didn't even think about that until you just said that to now. Yeah, literally October of last year is when I okay, fuck it. Let's just do a website. Mm-hmm. Let's just start selling. Mm-hmm. You know, because it came about as a stress reliever. But yeah, I'm just excited to I want to dip into other avenues with it though too. But at the same time I just know I need to take one step at a time.
Yeah.
One step at a time, y'all.
Don't freak yourself out by putting too much on yourself.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that. Which I'm known to do anyway. So, yeah.
That's that entrepreneurial lifestyle.
Yeah. It's so hard. It's hard because the lifestyle I know is the 9 to 5. Yeah. And then it's when you working for yourself. I can remember, I got 3 orders to fulfill. I'm tired. Well, bitch, you better get up. You fill these orders. And there's nobody around to tell you what you got to do. Yeah. And what the time frames is, what your limits are. So you have to be your own push. And I'm speaking right now on it's some things that I need to do right now. I got some custom orders to fulfill. So yeah.
You gonna get it done though.
Yeah.
Phylicia, speaking of that, you referenced the 9 to 5. Can you tell the people just a little bit about what the day job consists of and what is your relevance in terms of mental health and why we want to bring you on? Tell them what you do.
My day job?
Yeah, tell them what you do. Tell them who you are.
Okay, I am Phylicia K. My clients call me Miss P. And when I say clients, I mean individuals that I see at a nonprofit that supports violence prevention, violence intervention, and my clients range from age 18 to 25, and these are individuals who are most likely to be shot or most likely to shoot. And these are, gangs in Chicago, mobs nowadays, go block for block. So we working with these young men, trying to show them another opportunity, trying to support them, trying to show them that, hey, you don't have to do this. And it's the whole, we get them in through outreach, and our outreach our outreach team are very dynamic in a sense of they've lived the life before, so they know how it is. They have trust within these communities that they go into, and so they're the ones who recruit, who talk to the individuals about it. Then once they come to face me, we just talk about, I just work on building a relationship, getting to know you, you get to know me. You say you want a different, path. You say you want to change. Okay, this change not gonna be easy. I be real, it's not gonna be easy. But we can definitely work through everything and support. So I've been in, actually, now that we're here, this is September, well, we September 12th now, but
Yeah.
September 11th was my 3rd year anniversary at this job. Okay, I didn't
Clap
even
it up.
realize that at first. Wow. Okay, but no, nonetheless, I love the foundational elements of what I do, building relationships. My guys be calling me like, Miss P, where you at? We need our session today. Where you at? And so, I just appreciate them for opening up and being able to express these things and being able to sit with vulnerability. Like, this stuff is foreign. This stuff is
Yeah.
foreign to
How
the
empowering is
population.
that? Like, how like does that like fill your heart space? You know, like Boggs is like, hey, like, where you at? What's good? Like,
I guess I walk with humbleness because it's just like I feel like I'm doing a part. Like I'm doing a part. I don't know. I guess I don't even think of it like
well, empowering is lack of a better word. I mean, I kind of mean like I always say that like I always say when certain things like make my heart feel full. You know what I mean? Like so this is like does it give you that feeling like oh like this makes me feel purposeful?
absolutely. Like, whenever I can help an individual feel good about themselves or um help with like deciding between two like different lifestyles or deciding between two situations or pushing out of a challenge. I see myself as a tool. I have mantras and everything I say every morning, like, dear God, please use me as a tool to get to these individuals, to give these individuals what they need. Period, point blank. Like, use me as a vessel. Use me to their highest good. And I just kind of walk in that sense. And yeah, I mean, of course, it brings some type of satisfaction, but at the end of the day, it's like, are y'all straight? Because I know that it's struggling. It's a two brain thing. Like, if you know one thing in your environment and then you've been immersed into another environment and sit in front of people who tell them to trust you or you got to do this and now you have this whole schedule now, that can be crazy. That could be crazy intimidating. So I know that we are asking a lot of them, but the thing is, they want it. And so we are creating a space for it. We're creating a lane for it. And my biggest message to my participants and to my clients is self-reliance, independence, holistic care, your spirituality. You know what I mean? Like, those are the things that we need to get to next levels. Those are the things that's not necessarily in books or manuals or things that people we got to pass down stories and shit. So, yeah, I try to teach, not even teach, but just support value building and stuff like that. So, yeah, I love it. I mean, I love it. So.
That's dope. And you getting like men to open up and stuff too. It's hard to, get them to speak on what they're going through and the things that they've been through. So yeah, I think that's dope.
Vulnerability is, it's one of those things. It's still taboo, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
it's so necessary for the growth and development of who we are as a community and as a world. So yeah.
Talk about some of the challenges of managing that 9 to 5 and still trying to flourish within your entrepreneurial endeavors.
I can't talk about that without talking about the times that we in.
Yeah.
Pre, post, pandemic, which one?
Nigga, we ain't
I mean,
we not
still
post.
in it.
And
Like,
we definitely still in it, and they finding new strains, and
Oh my god!
they making booster shots.
And
Like,
so, and that definitely plays into the 9 to 5. Because I'm gonna be so real and honest with y'all. So my job has been, I guess they ebb and flow based on, news and stuff that we get. And so it started off nobody going in the office. We work virtual and we cool, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm chilling. I got all the energy in the world to do everything. Then they like,
that is real.
then they like, okay, come in at least twice a week. Can we get y'all twice a week? It's kind of dying down, y'all. I want y'all to come in twice a week,
Hybrid. Yeah, they love that word.
Okay. So I started doing that, and I started noticing I still had energy, but it's still a little depleted. And so now it's like, we need y'all here every day. We can't get no virtuals.
Damn.
We gotta, y'all gotta be here. And it's like that zapped me.
Yeah.
That zapped the hell out of me. And so with that zapping, it doesn't allow me to do anything with my new flame or, anything, other avenues that I want to jump into. Because when I get home, all I want to do is lay in my bed and watch Twilight Zone.
You be watching Twilight Zone?
I do.
The old school Twilight Zone?
1960, y'all. I'm an old soul.
I'm dead.
That shit fire, though. I got to tell y'all about my favorite episode one day. But no, like, balancing that is just... It ain't no balance.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Man. Well, with the work that she does.
But no, we talked about this. I think we talked about this when Gold Hayes was on. We was saying that, like, balance doesn't have to, like, I think motherfuckers, like, I was going to say equate. They take balance as just being like equality, like it has to be
no.
That's not
even
where
I'm coming from.
Yeah.
I got you on that though.
Like that
It
shit,
ain't
like
even about
balance
being equal.
exists. Like balance exists. That's just
It's about allotting what each component of your life need, right?
Yeah.
Look, Lil Nugget. When we know we gotta show our kids love and everything. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I be wanting to throw that parents and shit in the garbage after I go home. Like, what?
But also, what I think is like the balance exists like over a lifetime. Like it's a marathon, right? So like, what you allot, like, say you like, okay, like I'm throwing that parents and shit out today, but like the parents and shit still applies
Absolutely
for the entirety. You know what I'm saying?
Course.
So like, it's a whole like I look at it like like from a spiritual standpoint, like when it's all over with, and you standing in front of the big homie. Like he look at your spreadsheet or whatever, he'll see that like that you checked all these boxes. It's just you might not have been checking them all the time, and that June of 2021, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you made up for it in 2022 when you could go outside and dine in and not like wear your mask. You know what I'm saying? So like when you was able to exert
type of recovery.
you were able to exert, like to decompress. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a long haul, you know, so it's a marathon. So you balancing throughout. It's just it just don't seem like it.
And then
It seem like this shit
Man,
going
it
to
don't
hell.
never seem like it.
It's going to
and
That
then
shit
our
be-
life like goes in phases and stages, and so if I'm being real too, y'all, like
This is the realest podcast I'm not
Period.
realest podcast in the streets.
Yeah, so it's like we have to meet the demands that our life kind of gives us at that moment. So, and we have to be able to ebb and flow with change. And you make some very valid points, absolutely, especially when it comes to, I don't look for equality, but I just look for things to be sufficient, in its respective categories and stuff like that. But it can still be tough. Like, just doing the bare minimum of your efficiency check off list or whatever can be, daunting. And then it's like we are comprised, we millennials. We all millennials.
Yeah.
Like and I think we in the same age category too. So we probably got some of the similar perspectives when it comes to like work-life balance. Ain't no such thing as that.
That doesn't exist. And I've been hearing people mention that lately, and it's like, no.
Yeah.
You
that's
said
not-
like I've been hearing something.
No,
like
because
this.
for real, like that's become the phrase to say work-life balance. No, that doesn't exist.
We are that generation that we understand the what hard work and dedication and tradition gets you, but we also know to step outside the fucking status quo.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So
No, without a doubt. Like, I know my dad probably just looks at me strange as hell. Actually, like the job I'm at, like I've been, at the park for like 5 years. But like that's the longest like I've ever stayed at a job.
Wow.
But I just know that man like looks like because I feel like the status quo at one point is just like you find this good job, that motherfucker pay, got benefits. Yeah, you stay where the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? Like you stay there, you know what I'm saying? And it's like this whole idea of like you having this level of autonomy and like and honestly, like for a lot of us, like our parents like made sacrifices and stayed at those like particular jobs to give us the like quote unquote flexibility to do.
But where did it get us though?
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. But
we got some stock in that company.
Yeah, I mean,
Man.
Yeah. So
Well, we're gonna be the generation to do that.
You know.
I just speaking of jobs and shit, I just want to shout out my girl Channa. She's got her new gig.
Okay.
I don't want to brag too much, but I did just start a new job.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will tell her.
And it's in my field.
Yeah.
It's not a retail store anymore.
Yeah. I love how like this pod is like it's a
Thank
journal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a time capsule. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
like in January we had Dab on and we talking about like searching for jobs in the panty, you know what I'm saying? And like this motherfucker, like I ain't trying to be here that long. And then like when she told me she was gonna quit, I was like, damn, G, that's brave. And now she at a gig, so I just want to shout out.
That's what's up. So you quit your job?
I didn't quit it. God kind of quit it for me.
Okay. I like the way you put that.
A car went through my job.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can
like,
show you.
That's
This on the
actually what
news?
happened.
It was on the news. So, I actually was interviewing for another job. And I could talk about
and you
this
weren't
now
that-
because I ain't there
and
no
you weren't,
more.
and you weren't there that day because you was
That
interviewing for another
Let
Let me
job.
tell y'all.
That
So
shit
this
is
the
funny
tea,
as
right?
hell.
So no, they was
Talk about this the
calling
tea.
me. They was calling me. They said, "Shauna, girl, we need you." Doot 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 doot. That Kim Possible shit.
Okay.
Yeah, it was going off that day. They needed me in
Wade,
there.
Said Wade was hitting your ass.
It was what's the sitch, and the sitch was, and I found it out. I found out what the sitch was. So no, I was actually interviewing for another job, and they had were calling me, texting me, trying to get me to come in because like somebody called off or I don't know what the fuck happened. And my phone was on Do Not Disturb because I was interviewing, and when I checked my phone. Like, my store manager, she was just like, you don't have to come in anymore. A car went through the whole store and blah, blah. I'm like, a car went through. I'm like, what? I call her, like, what are you talking about? A car. So,
That picture
yes.
was ill.
Yeah. So, like, the story is crazy, but, like, what actually happened was kind of sad. The guy who plunged through the store actually had a seizure and he drove through the store by accident.
Damn.
Yeah. And
Was he okay?
nah, he actually didn't make it. He didn't make it.
I didn't know this part.
I thought
of
I
the-
told you. Yeah,
No,
it was sad. Like he had a
motherfucker
seizure.
been hard it up. I ain't.
Wow.
I ain't
So
know
no,
this
rest in
was
peace
plot
to that
twist.
man. I
Rest
don't know
in
his
peace to that
name.
man.
I don't know his name for real. Rest in peace. But
Sorry
he had
to
a
that
seizure
man.
going into
God
the
damn.
store, and then they said that he got out of the car and was fully functioning, conscious and everything, and had another seizure on the way to the hospital, and he didn't make it. So yeah, it was super unfortunate, but man, I was like, yes. So yeah, God. Shout out to God. Shout out to him.
Shout out to the big homie.
He worked it out.
God damn.
Things
He gonna
happen
work it
in
out.
divine order.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's always unfortunate when we have to lose a life.
Yeah.
But definitely don't.
Yeah. On a positive note.
Yeah.
You feel me? I got a new job out of this. So yeah.
You was interviewing anyway, right?
Yep.
Your heart was already somewhat different. So
Yeah.
you already following your path and the orchestration. They doing some good stuff behind the scenes for you.
Thank God, because man, that place It was not it for me at all.
And now you in your lane, huh?
Yeah, I'm sitting pretty.
All right, sitting pretty.
Well, we're gonna continue to put good energy in the air and put in positive affirmations
And get that bag.
You know I'm coming for the bag.
Yeah, for you know, bag and happiness. You know what I'm saying? That those come together is a one. They be acting like real niggas can't have both. You know what I'm saying? So we could.
Well, I'm living that testament right now. You feel me?
For sure. So I'm happy for it. I did want to shout that out.
Thank you.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Fee, talk about motherhood, how it deals into your mental health. You got a platform. Get your bars off.
You gotta take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Gotta breathe through motherhood. I'm gonna say that. I mean, where you want me to go? 'Cause, like, I just had a flash from birth to 10 years old, and
Oh my gosh.
Well, talk about like
You
for
a
me,
decade in.
talk about like the beginning stages, because like I have a lot of friends, that just became mothers, as you know, like as we talked about, and so like I watched them like kind of trying to step into that role, and it's different,
Yeah.
it's different. You got to learn so much. So like, what was that experience like?
So I'm naturally a learner. I'm naturally a researcher. So like watching RJ as a baby developing was like super exciting, super fun. Like, oh, he lifted an arm. Oh, he moved. Oh, he did this. So everything was like super exciting. But it was also intimidating too, because young mom. I was with his father at that time, so I had the support I needed, and I'm glad of that at that time. But it was a hellified adjustment. I'm gonna be real. Stop saying the real shit. I know you're probably gonna say some real too, but I've been saying real a lot, right? But realness, babies bring so much more. Like you gotta get the seat, the bag, the diapers, the wipes, the Similac, the cloths. It's like you got to carry so much with it. So physically, you got a lot more in tow, along with the baby, along with like working. I started work. I only had 6 months. They gave me 6 months, and you gotta go back to work. Like,
Which is a travesty. America.
Wait, is it 6 months or 3 months? I'm sorry, I think it's 3 months maternity leave.
And that's 3 months is totally not enough.
Ain't it 3?
It's 3 months.
I think it's 3.
Or 90 days. Yeah, I had 90 days. I don't know why 6 months came to my head. Maybe it should be.
It should totally be 6 months.
Yeah, maybe it should. Because think about it.
These niggas
the body changed so much. It take your body a year to get back. Well, I heard it take your body a year to get back to its normal homeostasis after having a baby. And so, yeah, like, whoo-wee.
Not to cut you off, but like you just said something that like I never really like put real thought in. You was just saying like the literal like physicality of like lugging shit around.
Yeah.
Yes. That's real.
That's a whole nother bag.
Crazy.
We be having
like,
bags already. I know. At least I know I do. So that's a whole nother bag.
Yeah, like I mean, like I know it happens, but it's just like I never put it in that perspective. Like
this one little baby,
that's adding to like
so
you're
much.
tiring out. Like, motherfucker, you carrying all this shit. Like,
yeah, all of it equates. I just had a client that I saw recently, dedicated to do what he got to do. He brought his infant to the session. He had a book bag. He had a big stroller. He had a carry-on. He had a lot. And so it definitely took me back to those times. Motherhood is a sacrifice. It's a whole nother job. Mothers should not have to work. I might probably get a lot of heat for that, but
from
mother,
who?
I don't know. You know how to
Ted
work.
Cruz, like,
The word there.
They week off when they menstruate. Yeah, exactly. They're they cycle week off. Motherfucking get these motherfuckers all the maternity leave they need. Motherfucker, get them a year. The fuck is you saying? Like,
Yeah.
I even
I'm
believe
a
in
proud
paternity
advocate.
leave. Like the dad
Yeah.
needs some time off too.
Yeah, what the fuck? We gotta work. A child is growing before our eyes, and
Yeah.
one of us not gonna see it.
And that's bogus.
Whether it's by choice.
That is crazy the
Like,
way you put that.
Whether
That's so
whether
real.
niggas gonna dip set and not gonna see it, period, or like that nigga gonna be at work, or that lady
But
gonna be
that's
at work.
bogus, though.
Like, it's like, come on, man. Like, I wanted to see the
Wow.
steps. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Wow.
This is America.
Yeah, and
But we
I
gonna
don't
change
know.
this
I
shit.
mean,
Our shorty's gonna change this shit. Our shorty's
Yeah.
is on the right path. You just talked about it. We already like on the tip of like, we don't have that same mentality about jobs. We are about mobility. We are about making sure whatever we doing fits whatever we, have going on. So I think the shorties, man, they gonna make it happen. And now what we gotta do is we can't be the bitter ass parents.
No, we
being
gotta
like-
support. We have the brain on
being
both
like,
sides of the game,
I
so
didn't-
we have to.
I ain't had a
Hell
luxury.
no.
You know what I'm saying? You can't be doing all that shit. You know what I'm
No.
saying? We gotta hold the shorties down.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing.
You know what? You're welcome. And I also just want to add that I know I just talked about probably the stresses of motherhood, but the beautiful part is like you definitely learn about yourself. You learn about patience. You learn
Patience.
I'm growing too. As RJ
I have
is
zero.
growing, girl. Man, like I think I have too much sometimes, but you know what? I guess there ain't no such thing as
No
too
such
much.
thing. No
Yeah.
such
No
thing.
such thing. But yeah, so motherhood has definitely taught it's very challenging, but has definitely taught me some great lessons, and I don't know everything. I don't know everything. And
Yeah.
I'm okay with saying that and knowing that, and I'm okay with, breaking traditions of like, I don't like it when I hear how we was told only speak when spoken to, or that like what is it don't, or I don't know, like little things we was told as children that kind of silence our voice.
Yeah.
I'm kind of different with that, even though like he need, like, kids need to have boundaries, but
Yeah.
they also have a voice and a soul too that needs to be expressed.
Everyone
I
everyone
agree
needs
with that.
everyone should utilize boundaries in some productive way.
Yeah.
For sure. And that's a beautiful segue because going into this episode, we all watched a little bit of like the Lil Wayne interview with
Yeah.
sorry, I'm mispronouncing the gentleman's
Emmanuel
name.
Acho.
Acho. It's
Acho.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful segue because on this interview, Wayne, talked a bit about his mental health struggles, whether it is, how he was when he was a child or, dealing with them like as an adult. And a lot of it was kind of centered around his suicide attempt, which he's spoken about before in past interviews. But
And in music.
yes, but what stood out for me was just him kind of referencing how his mom early in his life was very much like many black mothers, where it was just like, nigga, you expressing? Like, no, like I don't care, that don't matter, you know what I'm saying, that type of vibe, you know what I'm saying. And so after he tried to take his life and he survived, he said that like after that it kind of was like he said, I never saw that mom again. He said because it was kind of like an eye opener, you know what I'm saying. What did y'all think about the interview? What was y'all thoughts?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Thank you.
No problem.
I thought it was Lil Wayne brought up some very good points. I remember, so I actually saw it when it first came out, and
Oh, cool.
I'm like, okay, I know what this is, and seeing it from another time, and again, definitely get other perspectives. And one of the first things I noticed that he said, he talked about vulnerability. He talked about how sharing your story is important. And that vulnerability helped him, and like how he decided to come forth and talk about this. And I know Lil Wayne's history, he has felt very dismissive from a lot of social type issues, social things. For him to identify with this mental health concern, I thought that was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And I was going to, I don't know who all, Wayne, I guess that's irrelevant. I was going to talk about, I don't know who all listen to him, but he's still popular. Lil Wayne all day to me, like every day. But I don't know if this young generation, this generation under us, feel the same way about Lil Wayne.
He doesn't.
People
No,
still
I don't.
respect Wayne, I feel like.
No, well, that's not what she's saying. That's not what she's asking. She's asking just like the generation, like the younger generation,
Under us.
see him as
I
a
go
see him
hard
as an
with Lil Wayne all
influence.
day, every day.
I feel like
But he hasn't. Yeah, he's not.
he's lost
Anyway,
his touch. But
I guess that's neither here nor there when we talking about a major issue around mental health, and considering that this guy who haven't spoke out about nothing before is speaking out about this. Hey, okay, I'm listening, front and center, and definitely, like I was saying before, he started talking about vulnerability, and vulnerability is a pathway to resilience. Resilience is that part of us that allows us to push past what we have been through to get to that other level. And so he definitely talked about challenges that he had, that he have endured, and serious challenges. And he also talked about how his family came together, like how his mom came together. Then how the guy that found him after he was shot, that's community came together around that. And so sharing that story is definitely is profound, because also it had me thinking about the suicide rate of young people. He was what, 13, 14?
he was a kid.
Yeah, he was very young when he had that incident, that event, that suicide incident. And that's real. Like, that's beyond real when it comes to our youth and suicide. And it didn't really come to my attention till about last year, 2 years ago almost, when I started realizing how prevalent young people are prone to commit suicide or attempt suicide. And it just bring about, we need more awareness.
Yeah.
And one thing I do remember coming up, in the world of thinking about like what I want to do in my life, and major in psychology and stuff like that, I always ponder and wonder why mental health wasn't put on the same level as physical health. Like,
yeah,
because whatever we do, like, everything we see nowadays came from a goddamn thought. That's mental.
yeah.
I think 1 + 1 = 2. I think it's that basic. Like, our mental is first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? We can get spiritual. I say our soul conducts our mental, and then our mental directs our physical. We don't want to we can get metaphysical up here if we want to, but I'm not. But
I think vice versa, but
we can have a philosophical debate.
I feel like as a
this is the
kid,
pod.
I had a lot of like things that I was dealing with as a kid, and I noticed like mental health as a thing. Like when I remember in elementary school, I like asked to like do therapy or counseling. Like I've always done like some type of counseling, because I always like had something I feel like I was dealing with as a kid that I couldn't speak to like my mom about. So yeah, for me, mental health has always been there. Like it's always been like in the backstory of my life.
Yeah.
So like as far as this interview, like I thought it was really eye opening, and I was happy to hear Lil Wayne talk about this situation. And it also is Suicide Awareness Month, or it was just Suicide Awareness Week or something like that. And so yeah, I thought that was very cool that he did something like that he was that open and he was vulnerable, because you don't see Black men doing that at all. You don't really see too many Black men opening up about mental health or about feeling like they wanted to check out. Like, you don't hear people be that honest about that shit. And as a person who has survived a suicide attempt, I thought that was real brave. That was really brave. So yeah, it spoke to me. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that was brave.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's August made 5 years. 5 years. 5 years ago, I tried to commit suicide by swallowing my depression pills. And yeah, it was a tough time in my life. And I'm super grateful that I'm here today to even talk about it and tell people, I've survived it and you can survive it too. And it's people, you have a community, you just have to seek it out.
Yeah, that's so, like, my favorite word, real. And I feel like when we share our stories, it creates we have an impact,
Absolutely.
And that impact, you never know how it's going to permeate within that person. And so, we have to continue sharing our stories. We have to continue controlling the narrative. We have to destigmatize mental health, mental wellness. Like, I mean, let's start learning more about, and I think it starts about learning more about who you are. Like, it starts with the individual, learning who you are, learning how you operate, learning your stress response system, learning what the hell triggers you, learning what type of trauma you have been exposed to and how that has impacted you. Because guess what? When you have been exposed to any level of trauma, it can be complex, it can be sorry, the wolf is kicking in, and I can't think of all my terms. But
it's kicking in.
It's different levels of trauma, and depending on what level of trauma you have may endure, that changes your brain chemistry. That changes the way you think. That changes the way you make decisions. That changes your perspective.
Yeah.
And so all that is very important. That changes how you react. It changes that changes, like, your whole timing too. When I say timing, I mean, like, we talk about this thing at work called the pause. Giving yourself that time, that space to really decipher if, like, what your mind has come up with. Is it real? Is it a real threat? Is it an actualized threat? Because when our body get used to certain things, our body start responding to it. I don't know if you all have ever heard it, but it's a book called The Body Keeps Score.
I think you were the person to tell me about this.
Oh, okay.
And somehow it hasn't landed in my possession yet. So.
It's a really good book. So I'm known for reading like 4-5 books at a time, and I'm still reading this book. And this book is really good, but it just talks about how, like I said before, every experience that we go through that's considered traumatic, it creates some type of memory with our nervous system, and we respond to that. I'm gonna just share, like, I was just recently, my nervous system, my stress response system was activated during a certain time where it wasn't even a threat. It wasn't a threat, but it was activated by a particular individual that I felt like I had a certain qualm with, right? So it's like the brain tells you, oh, this person is da-da-da-da-da. You better go.
Oh,
you know
my God.
But at the same time, you're not in no, like, real danger. So that's where that pause come from, and it's so real.
I recently had that with a relative. The person called me, and I didn't pick up. But the fact that, like, I knew that I felt like it was necessary for me to respond back to this person, because I hadn't spoken to this person since a particular situation, it had my whole body I mean, she peeped it. I was with her most of the day, and I just, like, my whole mood, it was just off.
Yeah.
off the street, and I didn't even talk to the person. Like, it's just the fact that person called, and I knew I had to have the conversation, but it was just like, it was very like anxiety inducing. So yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I want to say, not only I'm grateful for you sharing your testimony, but I'm also grateful that you're here. You know, like I'm just
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at your voice getting all like low.
I'm sorry. That's probably it's probably when it gets.
It's the Woodford.
The Woodford, and then like the sentimental. Like,
no, I received. Like, it's all good. Yes.
I'm grateful, and you what you said at the end of like what you were saying, you said it very well when you referenced like community and just how it's out there.
Yeah,
it is out there. It's just like
you just have to find it.
You just have to find it. I think that was very well said. But
Thank
like
you.
I I appreciate you. Like, you're my girl.
Oh,
Yes.
don't make me cry. But nah, though, for real, like I went through a tough time. I lost my cousin. April. It was April 2015, and then my mom passed away May 2015. So like, you know, that's different. Like, it's different, and it's like I'm a freshman or going on sophomore in college, and like I went from taking care of my mom to like my mom not being here, like. You know, so you go through the stages. You go through the stages, and you just trying to figure out who you can talk to and, like, who you can vent to. And I think that it was August, like around July 2016, they diagnosed me with depression and, like, anxiety. So that was another blow. That was like, whoa, now I got, like, mental health issues for real, for real. They didn't identify that shit. I'm like, oh, shit. So now I'm trying to talk to my boyfriend at the time. I'm trying to talk to my family. Nobody to go to. Nobody understanding, like, what that feels like for me. They prescribing me, Lexapro.
Antidepressants.
I'm like, what the fuck is this? I never had, nobody tell me they've been prescribed any, like, medication like that. And, man, I was just trying to find somebody to talk to about it, and everybody just shunned me or just like treated me like I was crazy or the typical stuff that comes with that. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I emphasize the importance of community, identifying like who you can talk to, identifying who give you that support that you need, because I didn't have that.
And I want to ask you, so what type of supports did you eventually figure out that you needed in order to keep pushing forward and push past these moments?
I just kept being in the psych ward. I was in the psych ward in 2016. Being in the psych ward was like not the shit. It was not the shit. And I was there, I want to say, like, maybe 4 or 5 days. And that was my wake-up call for me. I was like, yeah, I don't ever want to be in this situation ever again.
What type of stuff did you notice or witness?
It really, being there was actually cool. Like, it was actually okay, but my hair wasn't done. So that was something I was worried about. Okay. I'm like, I'm a black woman and my hair ain't done. I got a scarf on.
This is the person.
They think I'm going to hang myself with the scarf. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that, guys. I really just want my... They was trying to make me take my scarf off. And then I couldn't have my cell phone. Like, I was really cut off from the outside world. Like, people had to call the hospital just to get in contact with me. And so just that time I took that to self-reflect and just like, yeah, I'm never going to do anything like this ever again. And I just kept telling myself, like, I need to do better. I want better. And I was just, trying to block out all of the things that was causing me even more stress or, wasn't helping me get to a better place. But yeah, just continuing to seek therapy. They also had me do like some type of follow up where I still had to go like sit in group sessions and like talk to people about like what I'm dealing with going through. But just seeing like the actual like seeing people who like are actually going through like some real shit. Like it was people that just, you know, was in some type of like different mindset. Like they just was just watching that was enough for me. I was like, yeah, I have to do better. I have to take care of myself. Like I have to really take care of myself. And I told myself no more depression medicine, no more of that shit. That shit's not good for you. All it does is like make you sleepy. It makes you sleepy. It sedates you. Some of that shit make you like sleepwalk. Like it's weird. Like some of that shit is just weird. And I just knew that like that wasn't what I needed. I'm like, that's not the type of shit that I need. Some shit that's gonna make me drowsy and like, you know, just not in tune with what's going on. I'm like, I don't need any medication like that. So yeah.
Yeah.
I learned a lot in 2016. I totally did. But that gave me a wake-up call, and it also made me, you know, find my purpose, which is She's So Weird.
That's
so grateful for that.
Yes, and thank you for like definitely sharing and being open. And you know, I noticed you said something important, which was well, everything you said was important. And you know, one thing that I can definitely point out is you never know who can get impacted, who's impacted by your story, and just like having that outlet to, you know, having that outlet to release whatever it is that's building up and that's pressure. And you know, like we're in Suicide Awareness Month, and whenever I hear or think about suicide, like the next thought is always is the escaping of pain, or you know, you want to like just let go of this and be released from this. And that's the whole goal per se of individuals that want to commit. But at the same time, it's like finding ways to, you know, alleviate that pain. You know, it's definitely easier said than done, and so it's well worth it to explore, you know, different ways in which that pain, and it takes strength.
Yeah.
It takes strength. It takes a lot of, you know,
resilience.
Absolutely. Yeah. It takes a lot. And, you know, definitely, you know, I don't think the world is so materialistic. The world moves so fast. Yeah. The world is so like driven on ego. That like what really matters is our soul, our mind. Like that's the real bag if we talking about bags. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like our peace, our ascension, us finding our purpose. Like that's the real bag right there. Yeah. And it's so it can be so many barriers in front of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like one thing that we teach, or one thing that we put out to our young men, we do trauma education courses. And in part of those first couple of lessons that we give out is about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And it just talks about in order to get to that self-actualization, that purposeful place, that in order to get to a mind space in which you want to start thinking about what you want to do with your life, how you want to elevate, you know what I'm saying? In order to even get to that, you got to have so many other levels that's met. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got to have your safety met. You got to have your shelter met. You got to have your relationships on lock. Yeah. You got to have, like, it's so much, it's a lot to get to that self-actualization that I think that the world is so goddamn superficial on, like, what? So
that's true.
Yeah, I want to say too, like I think it's like it's super relevant, you know, with like it being suicide awareness, and I think what people could take away from hearing us talk about Wayne and then hearing, your testimony is just how much that, like, none of this has, like, a face. Like,
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think that I know we talk about it like how a lot of these things are taboo, but I do think we are in an age, particularly like within like pop culture, where at least the idea of like anxieties and depression are becoming more of like a normal like speaking topic. But just like the idea of like someone being on that brink, I think that like a lot of people just associated with like a certain type of person, you know what I'm saying? Like how a certain person looks, or like how a certain type of person is like carrying on their day to day. And I think like I just think it's dope for anybody to like take away from this if they looking at you. I tease you, I call you Pop Out Patty, because you got it going on. Your nails stay did, you know what I'm saying? You fly as hell, you know what I'm saying? It's like they see, they get to hear from somebody like you who is maintaining, you know what I'm saying? Like, you are obviously, like a personification of like a raw motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? But that obviously, has dealt with issues, and like it's like somebody gets to see that, like, yo, like, you was that before and you that now, you know what I'm saying? And that obviously still impacted you.
Yeah.
And that is, but you, to the core, you are Channa motherfucker weird. And like that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I think that's something that like people can take away from, both of these individuals. It's like I like to read like YouTube comments, and I be like, I was just reading a bunch of people's comments. They were just like, so I was just like, like somebody like Wayne, that's got it all, you know what I'm saying? I'm a very like cynical like person at this point in my life, you know what I'm saying? So like I'm always very aware of like, man, like all that fame and all that money, like that shit is not like that is not the end all be all for like satisfaction and like contentment, like being content. Like we all know that like people deal with demons and issues and things like that, but still people associate, it's like people's value systems and like people's perspectives, they still associate, like money and success, like what happened. Still, even as like we got social media and all these barriers are like broken down. Like we see motherfuckers have meltdowns on IG Live every month. So it's like, even though we do live in a world where like people are much more vulnerable and like we can see through these walls, we still are battling a value system that has like been ingrained in us, like at least like as like in Western civilization, of like how if you just get to these like these monetary like assets and things like that, it's gonna like then you're gonna be all right. And so it's just as good to see, Firstly, for me, I kind of wish that he would have spoken more about. I felt like he was just tapping the surface, True. And it's like it's still like it doesn't take away from his bravery to even talk about, to even just tap into like those emotions, like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he was just talking about, like I like how he talked about how when you close the doors. Like, because the guy was like, well, how could somebody be surrounded by all these people? How can you feel so lonely? And it's like, yo, like, I still got to close these doors. After I dap up with everybody, I still got to close these doors. And I was like, I wish, like, he did look a little bit deeper. But that's just coming from a fan.
He was talking about, when he's saying that, he was talking about being alone.
Right,
and he was also talking about being alone when he was a kid, too. So being alone allowed him so much time to
think and compare.
Yeah, and all that. So
yeah.
But no, I feel like I feel like he did scratch the surface, but definitely what he said was valuable.
Yeah.
It's valuable, and people operate at their own pace. Like,
absolutely.
you know, that's a selfish fan talking.
You just want to know more.
Yeah, because I'm a Wayne stan.
Wayne,
Yeah, so like I had consumed so much about him.
I
Yeah.
feel like that too. When the first time I watched it, I'm like, okay, thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. I wanted more too.
Mm-hmm.
And I recently just watched Mary J. Blige
The doc.
documentary.
I still haven't watched it.
Yeah,
We
and
talked about this on the Go Ahead episode about like we was excited about it.
Oh,
The last episode, the last podcast.
oh, okay.
We were very excited about the Mary.
I mean,
You feel like she scratched the surface?
she did.
Yeah,
She did.
but it was. You have to think about it too, because I went into it thinking it was gonna be a lot more so about her life,
I did too.
and it was more so about the album.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because
yeah.
I mean, and then and she goes along the song "My Life" with the documentary, and I just kind of felt like, well, thank you for sharing, Mary, but that left me thinking like, okay, so what was it?
Yeah.
What was the pain? What was the
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Like, what was that cutting?
Yeah,
for?
and I still felt like it was dope, but I do feel the same way you did. But
Like,
that's
what
also, like I
was
said,
it?
that's a selfish fan perspective, because for her, she may feel like she still is giving you a lot because she already give you a lot in the music. It's not like, it's not from an biography like standpoint. It's not like she like spelling it out. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like I am expressing my pain, and it's a reason why I'm Mary J. Blige. Like there's a reason why I have this following, because obviously my music resonates in a way where you feel the way I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying? So I think even her reliving, like you gotta think about like she experienced abuse. She experienced abuse as a child. She experienced abuse as an adult. She abused drugs. You know what I'm saying? So it's like she's going through a chapter in her life where it was a very dark time. So even just her doing that, it probably felt like for her like
That's a lot.
That's
to
a lot.
even say, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can get that. Thanks for bringing in the
But
But
you
I
wanted
trust-
a little
I
more.
Trust,
Just a
I
little
feel
more.
I feel
No,
the
I get
same
it.
way.
No,
I
I
feel
get
the
it.
same way.
And so, well, I guess what would make me see it definitely more about that when people reveal what they want to reveal at their own pace and their own time.
That's
and-
why
Yeah.
I was very impressed by Gucci's autobiography because
I didn't even
because
get through it all yet.
man, because it wasn't not just that like he was acknowledging like issues he's had, but like he had a level of like accountability about it. Like he would reference certain like issues he still had with people that like he's still not cool with them, but he would say like, well, like I feel like it was real Aquarius energy. He was just like, well, I just feel like like I did like. He probably felt this way because I said this. You know what I'm saying? And it was like it didn't like duck from it. And then I liked how like he's very aware of like his legacy through like the mixtapes. Like he would actually talk about like, yeah, this song was popping off in the clubs, and this is like he seemed very in tune with his catalog in a way that I didn't think it would be, because the nigga didn't record like 50 million songs. And I'm like, oh, bro, like, you are aware how this
20 songs a
mixtape.
day.
I'm like, oh, you are aware how this mixtape like hand us like, yeah. So it was just like, yeah. So
You gonna make
that's
me go
what that
back and
impressed
pull
me.
that off my bookshelf.
Yeah,
Low
you
key, I
should.
just heard photo shoot today.
Yeah, you should. See, I thought he was just gonna talk about stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like this, like the
No,
singles
he
that
got
rubbed
deep.
off.
Like I knew,
Yeah.
so I read the first few like pages of it, and when he started talking about, I can tell when he got figurative about the address where he came from. He started describing how the streets and places look. I'm like, oh, he getting real in it. And so, and just by you hearing that, I'm like, okay, so that
Yeah.
kind of confirmed already what I
Yeah,
thought it
yeah.
was.
Check that out.
Yeah, Gucci showed us another side of him with that book.
I have to read it.
Shout out to his writer.
Period.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm just playing.
Oh man.
You know you have to help.
I want
I
to.
love Gucci. I'm a Gucci stan.
Oh, I know.
No, he is.
Your son was
He
singing
is.
First Day Out one day, and that shit had me in tears. I
Are
was
you
just like,
serious? Which
I
one? The
looked at
first one or
you.
the second one?
the
You
first
know-
one. I looked up the
Starting
one.
on my
The
day
one.
with
Yes, yeah. I looked at you. I'm like, is he singing First Day Out? Like.
Oh,
That was funny. You like, niggas, motherfuckers don't think I'm a negative influence. No, you are culturing him. You are culturing him.
He
But,
was really singing that song?
Yes, G. I was
Wow,
rolling.
that's one of my favorite Gucci songs.
I could see. I was rolling.
Wow.
Speaking of, like, you referenced, like, yesterday. Well, it's still today. But yesterday would have been your anniversary of your, of you being at your current workspace. Everybody knows what 9/11 represents for, the country as a whole. Channa, you said that you recently watched the doc, right?
Yes, so there is a documentary on Apple TV. Y'all got to get Apple TV.
Wait, it's one on Apple TV.
I'm plugging it,
too?
but I'm not plugging it.
Niggas start
You know,
working places, they
You know
get
what? I
plugged
thought
up. They
you
like,
was
you
gonna say
need to.
Netflix.
Nope, it's on Apple
I've been
TV.
watching Netflix.
Apple TV.
So it's two of them.
It's one on Netflix, like
yes,
a new one?
it's a series.
Oh,
on
then I need to watch
Netflix.
that too.
That's what
But
I've been watching.
That shit
I
like
haven't
Fire
seen it. But no, with this one on Apple TV though, I actually learned a lot.
Okay.
I feel like I learned a lot of information that I never knew about 9/11 because I was like 5 or 6 when 9/11 happened. So like,
Really?
yeah. So like,
Y'all, let's talk about where we was at when 9/11 happened.
I don't even know. I just remember Aaliyah had passed away at that time. Like it was already like Aaliyah passed away, then 9/11.
She passed away 3 months before.
Like,
And I remember that shit too. Aaliyah was my first crush, like ever. So like,
no, she passed in August
I didn't realize
though.
it was
I thought she passed before.
No, it was August.
It was
and
August?
then the
Oh,
next
okay.
month was 9/11.
Oh wow.
And so like, yeah, I used to do like projects on her. I love Aaliyah. But like, man, I never knew that it was like 2 planes. I never knew that like there was another plane in like Philly, and then there was another plane that hit the Pentagon.
Pentagon.
I didn't know that stuff. So when I watched the documentary, I was like, wow, this is very like eye-opening. This is new information that I didn't know. And they talked to like George Bush about like when he
he's on
first
the
got
doc?
the news. Yeah.
Oh shit.
So yeah, y'all go watch it on Apple
a
TV. You feel me? You go
great.
watch it.
So,
Apple
you know
TV.
what?
Apple TV.
Yeah, I see it now. This is definitely different from what I've been watching. I've been watching the one on Netflix.
Yeah, you should check it out. They got to talk to George W. Bush about it, and he was, telling like from where he was talking to like a class, and they were reading like a book and everything, and then they talk about when they had to tell him the news, and it was crazy. Like it was a lot of information, and it was some stuff that I didn't know. So I was like, wow, this is great. So yeah, you should check it out. Y'all should check it out. Apple TV, Apple TV.
Condolences to all
Apple
the
TV.
the individuals.
3,000
that
victims.
were lost. Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild.
You asked where we were. I was in 3rd grade. It's either 2nd or 3rd grade. But I just remember like
Really?
yeah.
Cause he old.
Nah, she looking at me like I'm a young buck.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Well, to me,
my-
he's old. So
that means I was old. Like I was in high school.
Yeah, so
I have no clue where I was at.
Yeah, I just remember that. Like I remember they rolled the motherfucking TV out, and we thinking it's lit. We thinking it's movie time. When the motherfucker roll that big back TV out,
Yo.
you
Yeah.
think it's movie time. They're like, no,
It's bad news.
Yeah. And I just remember my dad coming to get me, and like I asked him because I'm fucking 9 years old. I'm just like, yeah. I'm like, why are you? I'm like, how are you able to like come get me? He like, well, they sent us home. They concerned that they might, because my dad worked. He still worked for the city. Like he was like, I work in a city building. At the time, he probably was in City Hall, and he was like, yeah, nigga, like they might get us next. Like, and I just didn't conceptualize it at the time. I was just like, because I saw like it was a tragedy happening, but I'm just like, what they got to do with Chicago? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so
No, that was scary.
R.I.P. to those people. And,
a lot of lives were lost.
I mean, it's just bugged out to y'all that it's literally been 20 years.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, it is. It's really bugging me out.
That shit is wild.
It reminded me how old I am.
Yeah.
I was in high school. Me and my friend was talking about this recently. She reminded me that we had just left gym class and we had just settled into science class with a teacher with a blonde wig on it. I don't remember. I thought we had a whole different teacher, but she said it was a whole other teacher.
Did you go to Maria?
I started at Maria, but I ended at CICS. And so I think I was a freshman. I want to say I was a freshman in high school, science class. They rolled the big back TV out. We thinking like, yo, what's going on? And we see like planes and fire.
I just remember smoke. I just remember smoke amongst like buildings. I'm like,
No, them showing the building like dropping, that was insane.
Listen, I'm not trying to make light of the niggas that lost their lives, but this podcast I listen to, shout out to the fucking Summer Sessions podcast. These niggas is like, if this shit was on Twitter, niggas, they said they would have like motherfuckers on IG Live, like as it was happening.
Yeah, because that's what people do now.
That would be the age.
They be thirsty to pull their phones out instead of react.
And like they'd be in the building and they just like,
we had so much
motherfuckers trying to like jump. Like I was just like, oh my god.
If 9/11 happened, and we never want to talk about that time, but if 9/11 did occur in this time, we would have so much footage.
Motherfuckers would have their phone out.
Yes, we would have. But it's actually shocking me, like on that Netflix documentary.
I'm gonna check it out.
It's definitely I've been seeing some footage that hasn't been exposed before, and the footage like the people running in the buildings and stuff like that, and then you get the different people who's the witnesses who talk about different accounts and stuff like that, and so that was that's how it was real. I remember leaving school early too, and I remember my auntie bringing me home. My auntie ain't never, ever, ever, ever picked me up. So I'm like, wow. And I remember like riding in the back of her car, looking at the sky, like, what's finna go on? I saw a plane hit that building. They coming here next? Yeah. That's all I remember. Like, and I think, what was that, like 14 years old? 14? No, high school, about 14.
Freshman year, 14.
Yeah. So I was still kind of a little aware, but I was still in my young age too. Like, what's going on? Like, we knew it was something cracking, and then it's the documentaries that really reminded me about what was going on. Like, cause it's like from getting escorted to school home. And then now, in my memory, I feel like now there's been a whole bunch of discrimination against Muslims and Indian people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so it just kind of went from that to that real quick.
Yeah.
I took a class in college, like, about, like, we just watched films that were dealt with, like, that discrimination and, like, what Muslims had to go through, post 9/11 and stuff like that. It was crazy. I was going to say, yeah. Obviously, like I said, motherfuckers had to leave early. What I was going to say is that we just recently, why you laughing? We just recently left, like, Iraq for the first time in 20 fucking years.
What you mean?
Like, the troops, like, the American troops have left Iraq. Like, and they leaving Iraq to the Taliban. Like, y'all do what y'all gonna do. Like, it's our first time like leaving out of Iraq in 20 years. So
there's been a lot going on.
So that's just even just tripped out to think about.
The whole story is this whole twisted maniac of a love story.
What you mean?
I don't know. I'm sorry. But I guess I just said that because when I think about like everything that happened from the unfortunate deaths of all the people, the terrorist attacks, to the United States responding very emotionally to the discrimination against this, subset of individuals, to going into
or people
the
that
country.
look like, or people just that look like
going into the country.
Because you got like sheiks, like how do you pronounce it? Like
Sikh.
Sikhs, like
SIKH. You talking about that religion? The
Yeah, like they're not Muslim,
Yeah.
necessarily, but like they have the aesthetic of like Middle Easterners.
Yeah.
And so like they like battle with discrimination. Also, like obviously, me being a young buck, motherfucker didn't know until like a few years ago that like before 9/11, like niggas could walk all the way to the gate and see your ass off, like.
What you mean?
Like
At the airport?
like at the airport, like if your friends and family can see you literally before you like they can see you before you get on the plane. Like you know how like now it's like TSA and like
a lot of things
you have to
changed,
go through like TSA.
That never used to be like that.
No,
Yeah.
like they could.
A lot
it
of
was
things
very
changed.
relaxed. Like
Yeah.
motherfuckers literally see you get on the plane basically.
I guess I didn't start flying until 2006. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm like that's wild.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So of course, the Homeland Security Act, all that shit started getting in place. But
it's like the things like this. It's just like it seems like normalcy to you because it's like
now, but so judging from these documentaries of the information that's out now, America responded like a psychopath. Like they just captured everybody
white
that
man.
looked like a suspect, and I don't know. Like I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say I still need to do my research and definitely get all the ins and outs of the stories. But the few documentaries that I've watched already have detailed some things that I didn't know at first, and I'm just like, damn, y'all bogus.
Bogus as hell.
Y'all bogus. Like this is already, but I can't be too surprised because look how we came over here.
Period.
Anyway. But I ain't finna get on that. That's a whole.
That's another podcast.
That's a whole nother.
Man. But we already know America's track record. But whatever.
Yeah.
We not finna die. Whatever.
We gonna move on.
Yeah.
This ain't about the white man. Let's talk about the black man that was jocking the white man with the red hat. This nigga Ye.
I love how
we
you
not
just
gonna stop.
segue
We
into
not
that.
listen. We not gonna stay long. I don't want to, because we running on time. I just want to are you aware of the Kanye Andre 3000 Drake controversy?
No.
Okay.
No.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Story time. So look, Donda just came out. Obviously, Donda was supposed to be about Donda. I would think. Well, I'm not even gonna do that. Motherfucker can name some shit and don't have to be about the person. Like, so let me not do that. But we all know who Donda is. It was his mom. 3 Stacks recorded a verse for Donda. It got left off because of cursing. Because Ye ain't want no cursing. Although, like, that nigga was just, like, blanking motherfuckers out, like, on the song. So I don't know why you just couldn't blank him out. But anyway, they made a song called Life of the Party. Or Life After the Party. And on 3 Stacks verse, the nigga, like, talking to his mom. Like, if you meet Donda up there, tell her this. Or, no, he was like, tell her Donda, if you see my mama, ask her this. If you see my dad, ask him this. It was, like, very heartfelt. It was a cold-ass verse because he...
As expected.
Andre 3000, yeah.
As expected.
And on Kanye's verse, he proceeds to, like, diss this nigga Drake and say some shit about, like, on GD. Like, it was like, gee.
What's the name of this track?
Life After the Party.
Okay, I'm gonna listen to it.
3 Stacks, which was the funniest part of this whole thing, because like this nigga don't talk. This nigga like put out a statement like, well, I was under the understanding that like, I was writing this verse and I wasn't trying to be in the middle of that shit. Like that caught me off guard. Like for one, I guess that like my shit was too explicit to make the album. That's what it is. That's fine. But like, don't put me in the middle of like.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
Drake
Drake dropped it, right?
And
Drake
then
released
and what's
it.
wild because it was like Ye was dissing Drake and shit.
Wait, I'm sorry. I guess I missed something. How did Andre think he was in the middle of anything?
Because on the song, Kanye's dissing Drake.
Okay.
But Drake had released it.
And was wild.
So guilty by association.
Right.
Like, damn.
Right.
I feel like I'm
I
dissing
wrote
Drake
a
too.
heartfelt song
Okay.
about my
Okay,
deceased
I get it.
mother, and you on this motherfucker not doing any of that about your mother. You
Okay.
just like saying shit about Drake
Okay.
and Virgil. And so like And not only that, the wild part is because this nigga Drake is messy too. The nigga is the nigga that previewed it on his little radio show.
Drake is the one who dropped.
So somehow somebody leaked the song and like Drake got a hold of it, and I guess that was his way. I guess trying to make Kanye look bad because he dropped the shit on this little radio thing. Yeah. So nigga, like 3 Stacks, I'm just talking to my mama, like you know what I'm saying. So I know what's clinically wrong with this nigga, Ye, like you know, but like. Yeah, just from a moral standpoint. It's like, bro, what is... And then the crazy part about it, it's like, the shit sound better than anything on Donda, but that's a whole other, like, story. But it's like the only thing...
his verse is not on Donda, but how can I hear his... I want to hear his verse.
You could just YouTube. Just
okay.
YouTube. Just look up the song.
Okay.
And, like, and the funny thing is, it's the only song that's, like, talking to Donda. Like... No song on the actual album is like talking to Donda. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I still haven't listened to the album in full.
I just think we in agreement that like this nigga Ye, like I think this nigga Ye, and for one, like I got a couple theories about Ye. Now I'm not a doctor. I am not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. But I do think that Ye is in like a year to 2 year long like manic episode. Because like if you look at like how sporadic like he has been in terms of like this like album rollout and like for one I think he in manic or the nigga going through a midlife crisis because he taking like all the young niggas like of the day like I'm gonna get all the hot niggas of the day, the 504s and like all these niggas, and I'm just gonna put them on my album, and it's like. It don't even really like serve a purpose, and he just sprinkling like Jesus Lord in it, like y'all say things about God. It's like somebody put it perfectly. They was like he's using Jesus more as an aesthetic, and it's not. It's like it's not so much as a feeling.
Intentional.
Yeah, it's not so much as like a feeling of the music. It's just like I'm using Jesus as an aesthetic. Like I'm gonna say Jesus so you can feel like I.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I ain't want to stick long on that. Last topic. Before we go out, I want to say a rest in peace to Michael K. Williams.
Absolutely.
Most famously, Omar from The Wire. Have either of you guys ever watched The Wire?
I've never watched The Wire, no, but I'm familiar with him.
Have you watched The Wire?
No, I haven't. But wait, I don't want to be. But I have to say, just to double back a little bit. Mm-hmm. Me and Kanye got the same birthday.
Ooh, that just got real intensified right there. So get on his ass.
Gemini Jones,
get on his ass.
I don't know. I mean, I have space for him to do whatever the fuck he gonna do. So I don't know.
Go ahead, get on his ass.
Like he's you give him his space to do what he do. Shit, we don't gotta understand it.
I don't. You are correct.
I'm not excusing the shit. I also say that I haven't really been following him, so. Thank you for the catch up, you know. But yeah, I just know we got the same birthday and 6'8", shout out. And funny. That is an amazing day. So that is I do have a little bias. So I guess maybe that's why I don't really pay attention to him because I don't want to know that shit.
You don't want to know.
Yeah.
You don't want to know. I feel it.
Yeah.
I don't be wanting to know. It's inescapable. Like it's hard. Like I love the nigga, but goddamn. But yeah.
But no.
But yeah, so
I never watched The Wire.
Besides The Wire, he has played in roles.
I wanted to.
He's like one of the like HBO's like greatest actors. Nigga been in Boardwalk Empire.
He was just in Lovecraft Country.
I watched. He played the hell out of that part. Yeah. Lovecraft Country was my shiznit. Oh my! We can do a whole show. Yeah. You didn't like it?
I couldn't. It was too creepy for me. It was like, like it's already white people, and then it's like white people like being monsters. Like, oh shit! Now you really fucking with me.
It just was
they
too,
monsters.
It was just too spoken word for me. Motherfuckers got getting on they Spike Lee, and then there was
wait a minute.
I don't need all that shit. And then it was an episode when the motherfucker like started going demonic. And I couldn't watch it after that. I couldn't watch it.
It was the Emmett Till episode for me. Yeah. It was the Emmett Till episode for me. I checked out. But Michael K. Williams raw as hell.
Oh my.
Period.
Wait, no. Y'all look, no. We cannot excuse. Y'all have to acknowledge black sapphire.
Aesthetically, it was very pleasing.
On top of education.
Listen,
on top of history.
You know why I think I couldn't get into it at the time? Because it dropped in 2020, right? And I think I was in a space where, like, I required more realism out of the shit I was watching because it was just a lot of real shit going on.
Okay, well, take your real ass to real stuff and don't shit on Love Cry.
I'm not shitting on it. I just said I couldn't get into it.
It's a good show. It's a good show. And I didn't know it had a book.
I need to read the book.
Yeah.
I'm like, that book been in my Amazon cart for the longest, though.
I ain't shitting on it, y'all.
I read the book,
it just
but
wasn't for me, man.
It was like, man, white people turning into monsters.
And it might have called me. It might have called me the year before because I was into fucking what's our shit with my baby Regina King.
Boondock?
Yeah, no, Watchmen. I was into that shit, but I think that shit came out the year before when the world wasn't going to shit. I just don't think I was just in the mode to see shit like that.
I think I needed
You needed an escape?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
and
feel
the fact that, first of all, I love comic books. They give me that comic book feeling. Like, and black people is not in this type of stuff.
Yeah.
But it evolved oppression. It was
but
it was
those
oppression
are motherfucking
within
stories.
fantasy.
Those are stories,
yeah.
Joe. Our stories involve a lot of fucking pain, Joe.
Yeah.
They don't like us. And so we gotta rise up from that shit.
Shout out to him in that role.
Yeah,
I
okay.
appreciate him in that role.
So
he was one of my favorite celebrities to follow. He was an incredibly dynamic actor. If you know just a little bit about his character in The Wire, him as Omar, it was just like such a groundbreaking character in terms of like his sexuality.
I have to go back.
His morality in the show. It just like anybody would tell you this shit is like a top 10 character ever. Like it's like he was amazing. And just to know his story and like how he dealt with addiction, and just like his upbringing and everything, and like how like later in his life he was doing different things with Vice where he was coming to like talk to different kids like with like troubled upbringings and shit. He just was my nigga from afar. I didn't know the nigga, but like
you gonna make me want to watch The Wire. What platform can I find The Wire?
HBO. Same place you was watching Lovecraft. Where was you watching Lovecraft at?
I mean, I don't want to.
She said my sources. She said my sources.
Everything low key, he's done. Yes, might be on HBO.
Yeah, no, the nigga was an HBO because HBO hold them niggas down. They'll throw them niggas on all these shows. But I never saw Boardwalk Empire. They say his character was good in that. But listen, I just fucked with him from afar as just a person. And according to like the way motherfuckers they testimonials on social media, it seemed like a genuine thing for motherfuckers that knew him.
Mm-hmm.
So
crazy.
Yeah. I felt his authenticity through the screen.
Yeah.
Like I've seen him in movies, but like how we was just talking about Lovecraft, that was the most recent and the most close that I've seen him. Well, close like I know him, but that was the most like interaction I've seen him on any screen, and I felt the authenticity. Like he's definitely he was an authentic actor, an authentic person. Like, and I feel like the person's personality and the characters you play a lot of times don't always merge like that, but I feel like he brought a lot of realness to the screen. Like who he was on the screen in different characters wasn't too far from what he truly is. And so and I say that, and I'm speaking like the rawness, the whole intention behind it. I can just see more than just acting when I saw him. So
So,
rest in peace.
Rest in peace. They haven't said officially how he passed, but there's speculation that was, it was an overdose. So I just want to send a shout out to, all those that are struggling,
They said it was an overdose?
Yeah.
This was going around?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I just want to send out all those just struggling. He was going to play, apparently he's going to play DMX in the biopic.
Because he just did the tribute to him on BT.
So,
I can see that.
He just did the tribute,
Yeah, so it's, to all that are struggling, all those that have dealt with people, loved ones that do struggle, we just send our love out to you because, obviously it is, it's a true struggle. So, and I just hope that we all can express empathy about it and not have so much. I hate when people be like, the people around them. What was up with the people around them? How could they? Like, come on, man. How can you can't control anyone.
Yeah.
You barely control your kids.
For yourself. Shit.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, yeah, these knees popping. I have no control. But yeah, like, yeah. So like, I just hate when people do that because like it just makes you feel really bad for the loved ones of these victims because like they like that makes you feel like shit. Like you make you feel like you ain't had that impact or you ain't try to tap in or like you will be surprised the lengths that people go. You know, so R.I.P. to an incredible actor. Like,
Rest in peace.
Long live Omar. Yeah, we're going to close it out. Channa, where can they find you? Where can they find the platform?
Oh, so if you're looking for me, I am at Channa Weird XO, ChannaWeirdXO. You can find the She's So Weird platform as She's So Weird XO. Make sure you put that extra S, you feel me? Don't leave no S's out, okay? We grabbing all them S's. Put them S's in that.
Money bag, money sounds.
Yeah, for money, yes. That's how we coming. Because I got a new job.
Yes.
Where can we find you at, Darian?
Darian C. Boyd on my Instagram. You can find my photography at Shots by Sir D. Boyd. Follow me on Twitter at Sir D. Boyd. Yes, indeed. Phylicia, where can they find you? As well as the candle line. Let them plug candle line for you.
Please do.
You know what? I get nervous whenever I gotta say my social media. So my
Share what you feel.
You know, you can find me on IG, y'all, at Phenomenal, PhynoMellll. And you can, definitely hit up the candle line on IG at my new flame _ and definitely, drop a line, drop a word. I'm on Facebook, Phylicia K, Noel. But you probably can't find me.
See, nigga, you was talking about being nervous, then you dropped the Facebook. You dived into the water.
I know.
Okay. Well,
hey, take it. Take it. My New Flame is on Facebook at My New Flame CO. So definitely, I would love to continue to connect. And also, I just want to say, always shine your light, because you never know if your light can brighten or allow somebody else to shine their light. And we need light nowadays.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Phylicia, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Channa, close us out.
Man, thank you guys for tuning in to the She's So Weird podcast. Peace out.
Peace and love.
Don't make me cry.